like, what the?
They got to give themselves a shout out.
Talking?
They got to give themselves a shout
I know.
out.
I'm like, what are you guys talking about? This is literally now, like, you have to go out there and fight and claw for every single thing you have. All you have now is on your resume, just an extra bullet point. I have a college degree. Let's dig it down and do this. You ready for this? Welcome to episode 9 of Renovation Diaries. Did you just laugh? Welcome to episode 9 of Renovation Diaries, our weekly podcast where we talk about... You just don't like that word now.
Because you were so aggressive about not saying it. And now
it's not a podcast.
You've just given up. You've given up.
Our weekly podcast where we share with you our home renovation journey and just kind of journey of renovating our house. We're calling this Renovation Diaries because this is our little video vlog diary that we will one day share with our grandkids. And we'll say,
look at what we did.
Look what we did. So in today's episode, we will give you an update on our project cost of what we've spent so far into it,
and some of the stuff we did this week. We got some stuff done.
Look at our back,
our walls. I feel warmer in here because of this. Oh, this motherfucker! I'm so Moosers. I put him in his room. And he knows how to get out because his cage is like not his the dog messed it up. The other dog messed it up. And
so we'll give you that update. Also, what we're going to dive into. So the premise of this is what we're trying to do is give you an update of what we did and kind of I don't want to say the boring stuff, but the stuff that we did. And then also we wanted then also every episode we'd like to dive into one thing that kind of has been on our mind or that we've seen, and then we want to just kind of give you
that happened last week, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
That we want to give you our perspective on and just our kind of point of view. And today's thing that we saw was my brother's graduation. So he just graduated college.
Yeah, college graduation.
And it made us kind of reflect on, I dropped out of college. You finished college. You kind of did some of the professional stuff. And now we're here. So we're going to reflect on that and kind of give you our uncensored...
yeah, it's just funny because, like, we were both there. And you knew, like, we both were thinking about it, like, without talking to each other. Like, observing the situation and, whatever.
It was interesting. A little bit, I'd say, like, there was a little bit of whatever. We'll get into that, right?
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself.
Don't get ahead of it. Don't drop out just yet. Let me move this a little bit. There.
You just asked the cameraman.
There you go. That was my leg. Cameraman. Boom. Okay. Basement. We framed out a lot. Like at the moment, our basement is I'd say 40%. Nah. That's aggressive. 35% framed out.
Yeah, because
that whole wall.
That's
this whole wall here, and I was cooking. Yeah. I was coming down like a steam train towards that frickin' sump pump area over there.
I feel like you're avoiding that at all costs, by the way.
What, the big pile of crap?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I think Misha knows the sooner framing gets done, he has to move that so that we can frame that into a closet, essentially. And it's going to be like a dirty job, like literally a dirty job. Yeah, like, it's not just figuratively a dirty job. It's going to be nasty.
Literally a dirty job. We were coming down this way like a freaking freight train, and then the crack that I fixed yesterday. Remember that I fixed last week? Remember that cool thing that I did? So you were supposed to pop those little nipples off, and then you're supposed to just get them off, and then continue framing. And I got them off. The bottom of it was full with that resin. But the top of it, I could stick stick a screwdriver into that crack, so that resin just poured way down. I think it has to do with a couple things. One, I used all of it that they gave me in the kit. It's not.
I was going to say, why do you think that happened? Like, you think the crack was bigger? I think
the crack was bigger than anticipated. We had a little bit of leakage coming out, but...
What do you mean leakage?
Just on this side. It was like a little bit.
Oh, the product. Oh, my God. I thought it was water.
No, a little bit of the product came out, but it wasn't a lot. Not enough to say, the whole thing sucked. I am going to look on the outside. Basically, I'll tell you how we're going to fix it. I am going to look on the outside. I'm going to dig up that crack. That's not that much. I'm going to dig that up probably, 20 inches down, just to make sure that there's no stuff coming outside.
Well, it looks like they sealed it. That
just
the
what
cover.
We see though.
So
I'm going to dig down further to see if it's actually down under the ground, underground if it's actually fine. If it's not, like, if it is, I'm just going to use that resin sealant, whatever, cover it up. It's a simple fix. But basically, we ordered a new kit.
Yep.
To do it again. So they gave us only 2 tubes of that resin that you pump into it, and I know, put all of them. So. And, you know, some people online were like, you should have put more. I don't have more.
Shame on you.
And how are you supposed to know?
Right.
I guess they were like, you got to leave like a little hole at the top so that you see the stuff coming out. But I'm like, I put all of it in.
Oh, okay, I see.
But I put all of it in. I had no other, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe it is a bigger crack.
Maybe it is. So that could be the other thing, that it's a bigger crack that we fixed, because the bottom of it is completely filled. And that stuff, when it...
see.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole thing. But, like, that stuff, once it's cured, like, you tap on that thing, it's, like, solid, almost like plastic consistency. So that crack is freaking tight. Once it's done, it's done. So we're going to have that new sealant, basically, or new kit. The entire kit comes tomorrow. Going to do the exact same process, but the hole's actually cleaned out. So all I'm going to do is, where the little ports were, I'm just going to put the new little nipples back on it and just pump it with resin. So it should be actually a simple fix. I just got to dig outside to make sure that everything else is in there. But
are they called nipples, or you're just calling them that because that's what you think they look like? Just curious. A or B? A or B?
A or B? Yeah. They look like nipples, and it's funny.
All right.
So I'm sticking with that.
I don't know if that's the name they gave them.
That's my story, and I'm sticking with that.
On the back of the box.
I always like ports or something. Like
ports, yeah, it sounds a little more...
adult?
Construction-like.
Grab the black nipples, you put them on there, flick them.
Put them on the walls, flick them off.
Flick them off, and then put them in there. All right.
So goals for this week.
Is that it? No, okay.
That's it for what we did this week, right?
Shit, yeah, I guess.
It was a lot.
That, and then like a little update on PFP. It's something a little. This is a little in project, so that you guys see that nobody else really talks about, or obviously, but like we don't talk about this anywhere else really. It's like, we made a bunch of sales. You are hiding a yawn.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was hiding a yawn. Sorry, guys. This is
rewind it back and look at her face.
It's not boring, I swear.
Rewind it and watch her face. It looks like you're holding it apart.
We've had a long couple of days. Listen to my throat. Okay, anyways. Yes, you made a couple sales.
A bunch of sales.
Which is great.
A bunch of sales. It was great. We got some traction on it. Just exciting.
Yeah.
So much more.
People are asking for help, which is cool. Like, that's the whole purpose of this.
There is
immediate help.
There's no other website out there that you can literally be like, get on the phone with them and be like, hey, I have this bathroom and I need this. I'm going to have a niche, a bench. How many corners do I need? Nobody else. Like, you don't call like other big websites out there and be like, hey, what do I need for you? And they like help you build a shopping cart. But we do. Whatever. So I'm excited about that, and we're kind of working on content for that stuff as well. So we're trying to juggle those two flaming swords.
Swords that are on fire.
I am going to just work on my analogies for this stuff. What did we have last time? It was a race car. Right? That was the last episode. We talked about a race car. Today it's flaming swords.
Maybe, yeah. You have some good analogies. I thought of a good one. I'll have to share with you later.
Was it private?
It has literally nothing to do with any of this. So whatever.
Okay.
I thought of it in the shower.
Okay.
I literally have the best ideas. Please, someone else vouch for me. I literally have
vouch for you.
The best ideas in the shower. Do you not have like the best ideas in the shower because of course you have nowhere to write them down? No?
That's not what
no. Oh, don't go there.
Huh?
I'm like trying to have a conversation about you don't have like really good thoughts. Okay, never mind.
I have really good thoughts in the shower.
I'm sure you do.
They're exciting.
I'm trying to make you feel uncomfortable by not saying anything.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Oh, please.
So framing the rest, we still have to clean out part of the basement that we were using so that we can get framing done. But what's awesome, and I'm so excited, he's going to hate this, is like we have a deadline now because we have our electrician coming in. So you have to have framing done so he can put the outlets where I've posted.
Let's talk about this wall.
Oh,
we were supposed to have a half wall kind of running
to one of the what is it? One of those supporting. What are those?
Let's call them columns.
Okay, cool.
Just for this
I like
exercise.
That name, columns.
Just for this exercise.
The green things.
They're red. Why did you see green?
Because you gave me a hard time when I said you see these green things about the trees. You wouldn't let me live that one down.
It's an inside joke right there. Yeah, talk about them. So we were supposed to have this half wall.
Well, it's an idea, but we're just not sure if we're questioning that. This is what I feel bad for people that like have a GC come in, they create a plan, and then as they see it develop, they're second guessing it. I can't imagine. Like, we have the privilege to be able to change it, and literally 90% of people don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not sure. I
think we work so slow that we have so much time to just stare at this thing.
You work so slow, yeah.
How dare you? How dare you? I put so much effort.
Anyways, so it's starting to look smaller, which we kind of anticipated because of the walls. Like, we have to actually we want, to do it right.
We wanted to, like, I mean, this is a girthy wall. But it's because we wanted to insulate this.
Yeah.
You insulate your basement.
We also live in a very cold climate, though.
We're going to soundproof our ceiling as well with 6-inch. I don't know. I actually might just pump it with freaking cellulose and just that thing. Cellulose is a soundproofer. So if I pump this entire ceiling in this basement with
imagine.
It's gonna be sick.
I hope we get a cold winter like last. Huh? I hope we have remember how we had that deep freeze?
And we're going to heated floor here. No. We're going to have a heated floor here, and that might be like the only source of heat. I don't know if that's legal.
I don't know if I don't think that'll be enough.
Probably not. One thing that I did notice with this basement is just freaking wavy, and there's just no amount of self leveler that we can pour here. Well, there is obviously, but it's going.
We don't want to do that.
It's going to make our sliding door then it won't fit.
Yeah. So it definitely limits our our options for flooring, just in general, like not even just tile, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even the huge, large wood plank tiles, probably actually, no, because you can bend those puppies.
I know.
You can bend those puppies.
But, yeah, we definitely
so we almost want to go longer, because then you can actually bend them.
Yeah, but won't it be won't you have air pockets when you walk? I don't like that.
No.
Like upstairs?
Tile. I'm talking tile.
Oh, you're thinking tile.
I'm talking tile.
Plank tile.
If we did 8 by 48 tile, you can bend that thing quarter of an inch, not quarter of an inch, eighth of an inch.
Half an inch?
No, seriously, that tile bends. If you ever go like this on the ends, it does bend. So it could hug all of these curves. There's like a thing kind of.
Yeah, I can feel it over there a little bit.
I know. It's what are we gonna do? How much?
I know.
What are we building here?
Just whatever.
Just a place for our kids to grow up in. So there's that. So we'll get to that bridge and cross it later.
Right now, we'll just stand on the other side.
Oh, we'll see it down. So there was that, and then we're going to start framing the stuff out more.
Right, because the electrician.
But
a deadline.
Other than that was the update for this week. Do you want to talk about money now or save it for the end?
We can save it for the end.
Save it for the end. All right, let's talk about college.
Yes, so the youngest brother on the Misha side.
My side?
Graduated from college up in Albany area.
Congrats, Vlad. You did it.
Yeah, it was awesome. You should be very proud of yourself.
Took an extra year, but you did it.
Who are you to talk?
I took an extra year and dropped out.
Okay. Anyways,
so,
good job, Vlad. But yeah, I knew Misha and I were kind of, I don't know if we were on the same wavelength, but we definitely were having thoughts about that whole process. I mean, the school he went to there was thousands and thousands of people.
15,000 people at this graduation.
There was so many people. I don't know about other people's college experience, but
SUNY Albany,
there were
UA.
So many people there graduating that you don't even get your name called. He had a special department graduation the week before.
They were yeah, let's have the business school stand up.
Right.
Let's have the art school
stand up. Right.
And it was a couple hundred people at the art school, whatever, a couple hundred people at the business school stand up.
There were so many people. It was in a big lawn.
It was, I think it was a couple thousand students.
Yeah.
The whole school is whatever. So they did that. What?
Nothing.
Am I cutting you off?
No. I'm waiting to hear your thoughts. I'm curious. No. You're not cutting me off at all.
All right.
Now he's got to really come through because maybe it wasn't a good thought.
Well, on this college stuff, listen, it's kind of hard. I went to school for 4.5 years. I had half a year left, and then I dropped out because I started my junior year of college. I went to school for civil engineering, my junior year of college, I started to take internships, right? So after you're $60,000-$70,000 in debt, in some cases with other people, it could be $150,000 in debt. Now you're going to be taking internships. That's like, hey, you've already been making payments on your car for a little while. Now we're going to let you test drive it. That's kind of what it feels like.
Oh, that's a good one.
You like that?
Ooh.
Ooh. So that's kind of what it felt like. Junior year, right? That's when you started. That's when it's not like, oh, I like decided to take my internships then. It's when they recommend that, all right, we're going to go to the career fair and we're going to try to meet up with some company, like talk to them, and they won't talk to you if you're a freshman or a sophomore. So it's only juniors and seniors invited to this stuff.
Yeah, because they, excuse me, they want you like about to leave or graduate school so they could take you like as an intern.
Yeah. So I did that my junior year, and I went and I interned for 3 or 4 times. I interned, and every single time I did it, I hated it more and more.
Yeah.
And then I think it was me and a couple other dudes. We were like, I remember this, sitting in the cafeteria having lunch there, and then we were all like, yo, fuck this. This is awful. What the hell are we doing here? Let's do something else. Let's just... we were talking about starting businesses and things like that. They're like, this stuff is boring. This is just not for us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like my personality is impulsive in a way where it's like, if I make a decision, like, I commit to it.
Especially if other people are involved. Like almost like a bet.
Yeah, it's like I try to walk the walk. So everybody's talking shit. They're like, yo, we're going to leave. And I'm like, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, I hate this. I hate my internships. I hated everything that I've been like doing so far. I almost hate the fact that I'll have the degree to be able to fall back on. So I dropped out. Literally next day I came and I went to the office and I was like, hey, this is going to be my last whatever semester. And I didn't register because we were supposed to register for the next semester, for the last semester basically, and finish all that stuff up. And I just dropped out and then the dudes I was with, they did not. Obviously, so they did, but it's funny because now I talk to some of them and they hate their jobs.
They do.
Nothing against engineers.
And I think it makes me feel good.
I think it's personalities. There's different personalities that can do different jobs. Yep, there are people who are meant to be doctors. There are people who are meant to be engineers. There are people who are meant to be teachers.
Yep.
Guidance counselors that have gifts, right?
I mean, look at your brother. For the most part, he loves it.
My younger brother's an engineer. He loves it / hates it.
But he like
he loves the process of it, but he hates the drama of it. There's so much drama.
But there's drama everywhere you go.
So that's kind of it just wasn't my thing, and I would have had to go another $20,000 in debt to finish up that semester and things like that. So I was like, I'm done. I quit, and then that led me to go ahead and start my construction business. And then that thing imploded, and we'll get into that later. But in terms of the college itself, I think it's outdated.
If you could go back, you just wouldn't go at all.
I would have tried something different. I think I would have tried like project management side of it. I think I have more of a personality for that versus like computer models and like stress models of beams and like design engineering. It was just very I'm more of a person, like more of a people's person, and like I think I can lead more of like a job versus like design buildings.
Yeah.
Like it's just that wasn't for me, and maybe that's why I just was in the wrong field for it. But I mean, obviously I don't regret it that I did it, but it's kind of like when you're there, you kind of feel you just get like shepherded into like different like you got to do this, you got to
well, what I was gonna say,
how did I end up here? And then like you end up taking things you don't want to take, but like you've already spent the money and invested it, and now what are you gonna say? Oh, I'm gonna spend an extra year or 2 years and switch my major.
Well, look at what happened to your brother. Like he didn't think he had to take a extra course, right, to fulfill his needs, and he ended up loving it, and that's what he wants to go into. So like it could be a good thing, but like what you were saying is like, and that was my thought. Like I remember the first year of college, you go and you kind of have some people have a better idea of what they're going to do, and like those people are totally in some ways meant to go to school because like they need to for certain things or whatever. But when you're going as just like a business person or like psych, that's what I did. They're like, okay, here are the required courses you have to take. Like, why is, you know what I mean? And then like you said, you get shepherded through these courses you have to take so that you can go to sophomore year.
They just kind of spit you out at the end.
But also that's like, I try to think about it, like that's what our parents were taught. Like in some ways, they didn't know any better. Like you're supposed to go to school and like you don't know what you're doing, but you'll figure it out when you get there. Like that was always the thing. When you got nervous, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like I don't know what to take. Oh, don't worry, you'll figure it out when you get there. And I like
or it'd be like you need to take this class so then you could take the class next year.
Right.
It's like okay.
And I almost think it's backwards. Like you've always made the comment like you have an idea of what you want to do, so after high school you intern for that. And then if it's, something that requires a college degree, because I feel like more now in the world, like there's less things that require a college degree, as weird as it sounds. Like, again, like there's things that need it, and those people do need to go to school for it, like to be a doctor, a physical therapist.
It's funny how like our son, he's 6 years old, and he came with us to the graduation, and we kind of snuck around the campus a little bit. We opened up like the big lecture halls.
Well, first of all, Misha went to this school. He started his college journey.
I went to SUNY Albany for 2 years and then transferred to...
So he was familiar with it a bit.
Manhattan College for 2 years. So we kind of walked around, snooped around a little bit, showed him like the big lecture halls.
Big
and it's all huge and amazing, right? And then when we were driving back, he's like, so am I going to have to go to college? So he was saying that. And we were like, if that's what you want to do, if what you want to do requires you to go to college. Yeah, that's how you
said it to him. Yep.
If what you want to do requires you to go to college, then yes, you will. But you're not just going to go there and just because we're not making you go there. And that's something.
I think we said if you want to.
Yeah.
Like Misha and I are going to be very.
It's like, hey, I want to be a rocket scientist. Cool. You're going to college. Or it's like, I want to be a doctor. Cool. You're going to college. You know what I'm saying? But like, what sucks is like, I almost envied those people
that had a
knew
direct
exactly
path.
what the hell they wanted to do and why they were in college, and I was just like, fuck. I'm really hoping by the end of this
year,
I'm actually going to fall in love with this.
End of the sophomore, this semester, like I'll know.
Yeah. No. And then when people say like college, best 4 years of your life, I'm like, that's sad. Like and then somebody like even at the graduation, like the speakers there, these are going to be the best 4 years, like. Of your life, like this is where you make your like friend. I'm like, this is just like the starting point. Like this is how you're saying, like, yo, you're 22 years old.
You've hit peak, like you've hit peak. Like no, come on, life. Don't say that to them.
That. And I guess one thing they like just listening to some of the speakers there. One thing that they little overdid, and honestly, obviously they're super biased with this because they're just these kids spent thousands and thousands of dollars of being there. They're like, you have all the tools.
That is true.
You have all the tools now, and you can go out there, and there's going to be these opportunities for you, and because of the tools that you now have, you're going to be able to do them. I'm like, what the
They got to give themselves a shout out. They got to give themselves a shout out.
I'm like, what are you guys talking about? This is literally now, like, you have to go out there and fight and claw for every single thing you have. All you have now is on your resume, just an extra bullet point. I have a college degree, which helps. Obviously, it helps. Like you went to college, great. But like, if I want to get a project management job on a construction site, like, am I going to be a design engineer? No. But like, could I get a project management job right now after running a business for a while? Of course you could. Like, it's experience at this point is what separates people. Even in tech world, like that's something you hear Elon Musk and all these people talk about is that they respect people who have built apps so much more than anybody who's like has a degree. Like people who will come in there and they're like, hey, I'm 18 years old, I'm 20 years old, and I just did this app and sold it, or did this thing and sold it, I made this, because you can teach yourself to do all that stuff. They respect that more than a degree from Harvard, just because that basically says one thing about you is that you're good at learning and things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like you know how to push yourself through that stuff.
Did Elon tell you this at breakfast?
At breakfast?
You said Elon. I said this.
I watched so much of his stuff. Like it's all over the place. Like it's all of these.
I agree with you.
Jeff like Bezos is and all that.
I think they're just trying to say that like you don't have to go to college, and we'll still value you and your experience and what you bring to the table just as much as someone that does.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're trying to bash people that go to Harvard.
I wish there was like principals of high schools watching this right now. Long shot. But senior year of high school.
Or parents,
forget
maybe
about
parents.
The stupid
like
tests.
the stress, the SATs, like the stress that puts on high school students too. Like
where are you going with this?
I'm sorry.
Can I finish my point?
Sure.
Go for it.
No.
Senior year of high school is when people should be doing internships.
You were just talking about tests, though.
Huh?
You were just talking about tests. That's why I said the SATs.
Oh, okay. Well, I was saying screw the SATs. Like people spending weeks and weeks of studying for those. Have them, do some type of business program or some type of like a community outreach thing where like ask local, I don't know, accounting firms, local engineering firms, teachers, like shadow them, and then that should be your class credit, like real life experiences. Find local doctors. Like all these people will line up to show off their like firms, especially if you can give them a plaque or something. Like be a doctor and we'll send you 3 students a week to shadow you. Like you should be doing this stuff when you're like, imagine like you want to be a doctor and then like junior year you figure out you're like sick of blood. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine that.
Nauseous around blood.
There's people who have like who have that. Like they literally have that. But like if you don't know that and you spend all this money, it's just so backwards. It's just so backwards.
I wanted to be a vet until I found out you had to stick your arm in a horse, like your whole arm. And then I said, no.
Nope. No, that's not gonna.
But yes, we should be spending more time, like, educating high schoolers on the options versus here, go to school, take the freshman courses, and then you'll figure it out.
It sucks because the education system will be like the last kind of dinosaur to catch up to all of this AI, VR, like all this other stuff. Like the education system will be the last thing because it's all government kind of like pushed through, like small government. I'm not talking about that's small government, but it's still going to be so hard to do all these reforms and things like that while the technology is moving so fast. Like this chat GPT stuff, all this stuff, like trying to catch up with it. Impossible. So I'm hoping that 10 years from now, when our kids are,
I was going to say it definitely will be different.
10 years, but I hope.
I mean, in 10 years.
But like, I'm sure 10 years ago when I was graduating, like nobody was.
10 years ago, it was. I definitely think it's different now.
I wouldn't say college. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I haven't been in college for a while, but like.
I guess not.
Things are moving much faster. 10 years from now, it's going to be like 40 years before.
Maybe.
If that makes sense, like the. Hope so.
I would hope so.
At least the leaps.
Either way, we're not pressuring our kids to go to college. That's where we stand.
Yeah. So I'm hoping.
Like just letting them know there's other options out there, besides going there.
I think just even taking them out and like hopefully a lot of it has to fall on the parents to just go and hang out with Uncle Taras. He does this for Yeah. Like, so there's got to be like things that like you parents have to put the work in. Instead of sending them to camps, maybe you send them to like some of these shadow jobs or like whatever jobs that they can do.
Maybe the camp though is something.
Yeah, it's just definitely the education system. You guys let us know down below. Like education system in this country just needs to reform, especially with all this computer stuff. We need to be able to teach kids how to work as a team, how to work with groups of people, because right now everything gets so like, hey, you can learn this by yourself. You can do this by yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, like, the issue that kids are going to be battling down the line is working with people and talking with
interacting
people.
With peers,
yes.
I know. Yeah.
So they should be doing more group assignments. They should be doing, and again, I have no idea actually what that is right now. Like, I haven't been to high school.
I think Oak does group assignments, but he's also in kindergarten.
Yeah, that's all they do, right? So it's like,
it changes at some point.
You got to be able to do group assignments and and I think in Europe it's a little more prevalent, like this type of things. No, I love New Hampshire.
I thought about moving to Canada.
All right, we're running out of time. We have 1 minute. We got to squeeze in how much we spent so far.
Okay, so the windows got delivered this week, so we had to pay the balance, and that was about $2,100. So
all in right now.
Then we had to buy new stuff.
$7,900.
New stuff for the concrete wall.
Yeah. $2,400 for that.
Close to 10 and doesn't even look like a finished room yet.
$240, not Jesus. $240.
$7,900.
So we are at $7,900, almost 8,000 buckaroos, and we only have a couple of walls framed out. If you have listened this far, respect.
Put a little. Do they have the graduation cap?
Oh yeah. The little emoji with the graduation thing.
Put it.
That would be sick. Yo, this flew by.
I know. It's fun. We're having so much fun.
Love you.
Bye.
Say it back.
I love you too.